Hello, I'm Dr. Brandt Gibson, and for the last 210 days, I've been sharing information about peripheral neuropathy and trying to get you what you need. But I think there's still some secrets, some issues that people are wondering about, people are not completely understanding, and I want to help you understand that. So let's take a step back and kind of help you see the big picture. First things first, peripheral neuropathy is a big deal. It's a problem. It's been a while. Like back when I was in school, back in 2001, as I graduated from podiatry school and started to work with individuals as a doctor, I started to realize that there was this condition that we saw on a daily basis, peripheral neuropathy, that there were not good options for, that there were not good treatments for. In fact, a lot of times people suffered with pain and suffered with discomfort and suffered with the problems that came from peripheral neuropathy every single day. It would keep them up at night. It would interfere with them. And the solutions they were being given were usually nothing or pain medication. And the problems of pain medication were so extreme and so severe that we're saying, okay, that's not an option. We can't do that. And so we took a step back and says, okay, what are the other options? What kind of things can we do for peripheral neuropathy? And what it came down to is there were nerve modifying medications that were able to treat the nerves. I mean, at the time it was gabapentin, Neurontin, and then you had Cymbalta that came out, and then you had Lyrica that came out, and these medications that were being used to treat the nerve pain by a process of just stopping the symptoms, stopping so they weren't causing as much pain, causing much discomfort. And for some individuals, these were miracle workers. They were working amazingly well. And my big problem was I'm sitting there going, okay, we're putting people on a medication that doesn't fix anything, that has a significant amount of side effects that you get used to over time, and then hoping that this will actually help them continue to function. And really all we're doing is keeping them from becoming disabled from this problem. We weren't fixing the discomfort. We weren't fixing the distraction that was happening on a daily basis, keeping them from doing what they really wanted to do. We were just keeping them from getting disabled. And was that a good enough option? And so I continued to look for treatments. I continued to look for different things. And then you started getting these groups of people that were bringing out vitamins and saying, here are these special B vitamins that will actually help you treat your peripheral neuropathy. And I'm going, okay, these are working on some individuals as well. And they're taking away some of the people's pain, some people's discomfort, but we're still not getting it where this is working in all individuals. You're saying, okay, there's a big group of individuals that this isn't working for, or they're not willing to do it, or those kind of things. And you're saying, okay, what's the problem? And there were still too many individuals. Well, I was working on this and saying, okay, I need to find the solution. And then something changed. Something really started to affect me. It got to the point where when I would drive for long periods of time, my hands would start to go numb and I couldn't feel my fingertips at all. I got to the point where I'd put my arm around my wife and we'd sit in a movie or sit in church or whatever, and my arm would go numb initially, and then it would get severe pain, and I couldn't even move it. I'd have to use the other arm to put it back in place. And it got to the point where I was getting desperate. I'm going, okay, what's going on? There's got to be something to do with this. What can I do to treat this? And I'm not going on gabapentin. I'm not going on Neurontin, Lyrica. I'm not doing any of that for my neuropathy because it's not all the time. It doesn't happen always. But what can I do for it? And I started to look for other options, started to look for other things. And I'm going, okay, are vitamins the option, or is there other things that I can actually do? And I started to find that vitamins were working, that nutrition was working. If I ate better, if I says, okay, I'm going to drink 8 cups of water a day, I'm going to eat fruits and vegetables, more servings of fruits, more servings of vegetables. And I've actually found that if I say, okay, I'm going to drink 8 cups of water a day, eat 8 servings of fruits, 8 servings of vegetables, my symptoms went away. I'm going, okay, that's interesting, but how can you live like that? Is that something you can actually do every day for the rest of your life? And truthfully, it was even difficult for me to do it, even though I knew it worked. I knew it was a very, very valuable thing. I say, okay, what about exercise? When I was exercising and being very aggressive at exercising, my neuropathy symptoms were better. Great. But what about does that mean I have to be really aggressive and rigid exercise to solve the problem? And you're going, okay, I've got this piece of the puzzle I'm going to put in here, this piece of the puzzle I'm going to put in here, and started to look at that. And then my mother was diagnosed with cancer. She was diagnosed with a form of lung cancer that was metastasizing and spreading and getting to other parts of her body. And I'm going, okay, this is a problem. And she started getting severe pains, nerve pains, neuropathy pains. I knew exactly what it was. She got some treatments, radiation treatments, and the pains were getting worse. And we decided, okay, let's try these nerve modifying medications. All we need to do is reduce her symptoms, because she's got so many other problems from this cancer that we just need to reduce the symptoms. We put her on Lyrica, and the side effects were awful. I made my mother worse by putting her on this medication. And at that point, I swore I would not use the nerve modifying medications to help peripheral neuropathy, because the side effects were so severe. The difficulty of getting you off the medication was so severe that I'm going, okay, there's got to be a better way. And it was at this point that I started looking for other options. I started finding ways that I could help people diagnose their peripheral neuropathy. I could help people determine what the causes were and what treatments are going to work for what causes. And doing that, I'm going, okay, this is absolutely amazing. Let's start moving people forward and start helping people do this. And then it became a system where I could say, okay, I can do this in a series of 8 visits. And you're going, okay, that's not quick enough. That's not giving people a streamlined approach. There's too many pieces, too many moving parts. And so then I streamlined it down to 3 or 4 visits. And what that does is that it says, okay, now we can start finding the solutions, finding the options, finding the things that they can actually do. So then it wasn't simple enough. I'm going, okay, I need to simplify this even further so that we can actually get the same results across the board to everybody that we did. And we created the Gibson method. The Gibson method being actually 4 key steps. Number 1, understanding peripheral neuropathy. Number 2, managing the symptoms. That's usually the reason people come in to be treated. Number 3, treating the disease processes so you can stop the nerve damage. And number 4, putting all these pieces in place now that we've got control and say, okay, how do I make it so I can get back to living the life that I want to live, whatever that is? And that was the process that I started to put in place. And I'm going, okay. And it started working for patients. I'm having patients coming in and we're doing these treatments and they're getting better and they're going to their kids' soccer games. They're going to their kids' baseball games, their grandkids' baseball games. They're going on walks with their children. They're able to get up from the floor after playing with their children on the floor. This chronic symptoms all over their body is gone. All these symptoms are just going away. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, what in the world is happening? Is this is not real. It can't be just this. And then I realized that there are people all over the world that are still being told that there is nothing you can do for peripheral neuropathy. They're still being told that their best options are pain medications and nerve modifying medications. And if these didn't work, they're out of luck and their symptoms were going to get worse over time and there's really nothing they could do. And that was unacceptable to me. So I started working on a program that allowed people from anywhere in the world to get on and go through the same process, to have the tools, the pieces that they can plug in and put in place and say, okay, I'm going to take control of my peripheral neuropathy. And I'm going to actually really find the best way to manage my peripheral neuropathy so that in the long run, I can control my symptoms, I can manage my disease, and ultimately I can get back to living the life that I want, even though I have peripheral neuropathy. And it stops interfering with your life. And you start living day to day the way you want to live day to day, not based on the symptoms or problems that you're having from the nerves. So with that being said, I started moving forward with this program and created the Gibson Method 9-day boot camp, a process so that we could put these pieces in place for each one of you so that you could treat your peripheral neuropathy. You could manage your peripheral neuropathy by understanding your neuropathy, by managing the symptoms, by stopping the nerve damage, and ultimately living an extraordinary life that you deserve to live even with peripheral neuropathy. So that's the reason I created this program. And what I've done is I put it in place for a nominal fee, which we now have taken that program and we've included other things into it that make it even better. Programs that will help you learn how to eat better so you can actually get your body functioning more like it's supposed to, which will improve the functioning of the nerves. Systems that can help your mind, a program that helps you function with your mind so your mind can work better, so you can improve your peripheral neuropathy through that process as well. And even systems that I'm working on to help you with meditation, systems I'm working on to help you with self-hypnosis, systems I'm working on to give you all these different tools so that in your armamentarium, you can actually truly manage your peripheral neuropathy. So the truth is, I found a solution for me. And I found a solution that's working for my patients. And I found a solution that could work for you to help you get peripheral neuropathy no matter where you are in the country. That is the reason that this is important to me. And that is the reason I'm doing it. This is Dr. Brandt Gibson. This is your Neuropathy Nugget, day 210. And I hope you have a great rest of your night.